Ebisi Odo Broni tambe no kokaye. Ebisi owu ye na 71 hwan no de 72 hours so se hwan ena okoye se court gi ni tu mu se sebi oye yere na okoye. What me madwen ye me se Ewuraba na mode na ye twa piano. Mi gidi pa se na onye na dwen se oni maame no edi apere wo bibia mu. Me madwen na me ken. Se wankoye ne ntem na afi na wakoye a. Madwen ye me se sa aje me ni nsensem ni nyina na nka ogyae ama maame no. Ena wahwa ne bia onko kae. Nti ono nso aye na dwen se bibia fa ne kunu ne ho bia no. Emrama ne kwan ne sese bia obeye. Nti na bia wakoye. Event organizer bi anas me ref emisa kwesi Ernest o bibisa. Wakanu mpe bebre se otai di Lumba etu kwan. So the Lumba etu kwan a oba wode ne ma ne se yere. Emma oje visa ma ne mo tu kwan Odo Broni. Nti minim so mu ko gina embassy ho a asem a woka emma omutimi de ko. Minim se moda so gitum se enye ne yera. Ne se ode ne itu kwan minim se omako UK ni ade nyina. Enti ede na odi begina so aka se ne yere age visa ama no. Ana se okoya omo se Daddy Lumba yiri misa ne hwe na omoko. Nse bi o ho a ye nyina ye twitwa bi ho atetare bi ho se de bi a meka no. Na nya ne yere no. Ena untimi nsisa eno de obi ehu se eye insult o. Eno de obi ehu oka bibi kakra bi pochire maame se wa na obeja ba kikafo akire maame no mubofu. Nti Odo Broni sebi onim nyansa se ye nsisa ma ena de be kwa embassy se emma me de mebe kase mi kunawu asesa ne ma ena de akwa embassy se ni kunawu chese onim hwe eso ma ye meka bibi sesi a mubu befu Ewuraba no sabi onye ti wuye saa o ena de atete no na busuafo so nsa anye kwakwahwe abaafo saa o lawyers nyina obi wona busuam and enamfo enam ni kunu so ama na nya no so omo so omunye ti bonkoso fo saa o sa omo behwa ama wayeye niema tratra trotro bia diso de ne ma ne ko embassy ebeka se ni kunewu na wo nipa kro na aka saa no se ye wo aka wo ma na wo besisa wo mo de wo makwa embassy se wo yira na se wo kunewu wahu enye saa netie enra bikopie o mu nkomodie bi so so mpeso mu kire so obi aka kire o mu se nyino nsa ha no senye Lumba nsensem ya beya ka obeda akohia maame na kase ne nsa ha no mo kikansem no a de asemo yi anko asi ho se ono na momu bi munya ne ho didi ana bi nso ono ye momobo enti na chi no obi ansebu obi amfata se yebu no sabi Odo Broni so 1 year kra na Lumba yire no enti mi jedi se respect na mo pese ye de maame sewa no sa mo de bi mo ono so a wonchiri ti mi be gina adepa platform ya obe end na nipa be 15,000 e be hweye ka se osesa ne ma na de kwa ka se ni kunawu eyo de obi hu senye eye nimtiebuo maame nkoka se o maame no say na muko achemo yenya ne sa omunyina obia sebuo obia fata ebuo mimi obi a oni ni kuna ware a na ye fie die enso otimi tu kwan minim soko register yansa na odiko se oye ne de enim ne se ye fie engagement ya omu ye ibi enti e bi a o tu kwan no omu ko sensan no mo de ko ya fine na no bi bisa se musi German for ordinance nko an omu gituma so nipa ne ye kramoni na o ware o baby enkramosun mu dia eno omu nye ntuma ana eno ontimi mfa nkoka ne kunu ho ana eja mo amoti ase ne ya mo nchirechire mo nchire ye na me de
We are my son, why?
matemedofo me da so gina so se eya ye ba no na ye hia obebia no se maame se wampo na esi ye defend no a ya ye bisa ye ho nsa kakra menim de enti a certificate ebe ye difficult ama obi di akire se de omunya akokoduro bebiebie passport mu kire nkrofo no enye passport ho manso na ye etwe ogana na ye certificate enti die na esi omu kwan se omu de be kire ye se de maame se wa akọje China na yiri die yi ekekere ne ho yi ena nke ya ne die na wa horo kakraka na ode akekere ne ho a kenya ne se memini mu etia meda so ti ahoma isu yi se wo ho mo amakofie ho nyi obi ameka so akọhwe certificate no eso mo da so girim ena ye legal wife ena ona wani ni kunu no ena we ndi onka ho se ye buo mu a ena mo wo buo ma Lumba ne Odo Broni nso a nka sese ya ye gina ho edie nka obi ntimi mfa ne sense ne bo nka se Odo Broni nya yere unless Ghana court na asa abeji atum se maame se wanko na ye yere asana ka motimi akeka nsem a moken eso mo ye mo adwen se mo nyi bibi mo se mo die once mo ye mo adwen se maame ne de til eno a ena mo gina mu eso nka lawyers ene mo a mo temra eka mra di mra yi ka mo kura na o se mo bossa de ne ho ban e wo mo nkasa yim na ka mi mole ba bekeka bi na ka mekọ eso mo no mo da so gina so se Odo Broni nya yere mo so mo ye lawyers ana mo ye law students a mo ni mo mra se for now dear omo mi ru nyina ye yere eso da bi maame se we mobo enti chenchena obi abegini kru obi abeye ni sei ena mo ka bia na mo ka bia mo de ye nsusu mo sa mo de obia oye lawyer bia oba ha ana obia oye law student oba ha ana obia woni mo mra no enka mo de mo meyeye me mole de ibio ka mo de o se ka mo de respect e mamra na mo je verdict no ho etum na ekire ensisaye bi ba mo ni ye nyina abegina pe na ye gina mu na mo so mu gina mu ena ye de na okokaaye ena odede na koye ena mfahin kosi ha me de manu si no me gidi se maame se wani ni nua no Grace o mani da ho no maye mo adwen se de o mahu se nkrofo bi adwene wo fom ne de a o mbetimi adidi mo ho ne de wo mu bedi ade mu se mutua mo mre wo mu bedi di mo ho a na mo ani mra mo ho so no it is aye too late nanka maame sikani a wo sika na wa bobra said the more can. Nka browa for. And umbeto umbutum. Eko ka amusi nyebia. Se fufuo no kro muton obi $1,000 nyina. O magis kan ba fufuo no kro nya nkoduri. Na sebi nipa osuro nyame. Said the more can. Obesheda. Emia na nife. Atutu nkrofo butom sa. Minim se ebetom rebi no. Enye de bia na otwea ubetia ne dua sumpre no. Asedan kenya me se kakra nkrofo ani da ho. De betom rebi no na kama ame no nko ana oginam. Eho na obehu se sabi se obi eye na dwen se wodowa ana wope wasem wate wasem na ye ne mobo a emfa ne mre so abrochi mo amote ho munnim se de mo bre sam fifre nkrofo bebre yenya akomayare because of alarm na ebo no ebo pena ne yem ahye no no die mika ensio mo ewie mo no okoye adwuma na wasem ato na akoma so keka na wasidi owo bia ode beboa wa na afia abedru se woni wabusuafo ede wo mo ho ene ebebo bra nyame hwe ye nyina ade pamidase
That's it. And I said, jobs, kakra so Musa question 1 or 2. Now clarification and so no. Now first clarification about say Enkrana Ediko Omuriko Embassy. Say the Enkra I think say and say okay, it came from your uncle for be on a buy. Name say yeah, bisasa capacity or call the dear no the call ask reches and the capacity into our report who now will be cast and crack Robert in their call. Now when your mamma say our consent and as a visa, those are the things. The argument about Encrano, after this, more side when if free buy. And
but so the memeti ye no nenye ye side ho ni ase nipa ne re ase bet man show mu di ase nipa ne de sre no
Martin de Sana Mika into the more on entra.
okay
And fairness, which is not. And I ordinance certificate in the customary news. You himself with me, where register with me to coin. The only thing is, owned me a monogamy. To fast or you're ordinary bank, or you're in our age to a corona or ordinary free ban. And the Obaja to but ultimate of another one from baby because of our air Bema Bako. And then I am kind of ordinance civil marriage. But what in a banner customer you to say because a legal marriage under cap 127 or a actor this hour trained by a legal. But wouldn't mean more than that. It's your number.
Me fan say akwesi mensa ware me ha. And I mean him say if you dey so it me register nya certificate no. Is me di 2 kwan no mu gi tumu a.
Big brain now, but
me kunu betimi awari bi aka me ho ba se me nya di 2 kwan na ye gi tumu wo ho a se me kunu no ba be wari bi kura wo ha ontumi nsa mfa ne mekan ye ho e ma ye ntina ho okay
because ukrom ho ne de ye gi to aware dodo otum e customer ye gi tum but sai kro na wo de customer ye dodo ontum ntina ontimi mfa me kan ho okay the member which lawyers in them so am young seminar what and some can be bisa what clarify
future all the up the
job questions so ha and now about asem no say yeah court aka no yeah the court no I don't think say me ka say ye ngi ntum and as what I don't think any of you say intimate very free but because yeah out but
future baby are they economists men source
no men source so but let me clarify clarification into how there be
more questions here 1 2 no bin can be
big brain oh nya botre oh this is na oba nya botre appeal and into no number me can be say independent court in fact court crime acquisition now one in yard you have the right to say so only judge and you could judge in normal reasons why and you can criticize the court won't disrespect you, but you can. Now for trade articles on Reddit. Who say Reddit no? Articles general. Articles where laws in our backing can be brave. I don't know how to be the argument or essay money where I betray. And now lawyer now all quite appeal no. Yakofan for front ban or dear to so quite appeal nearly. I mean, it's not because the high court and I can tell who has a maybe do it as I appeal. That's the way the law is, and they can overturn it. And I say they can quash it, and I say they can dismiss it. That's the way. And so many cases are called appeal at me attorney. Etimiko, on the is in line. Number them clarify. And we will question.
In future, the American say, I say so be a lawyer. And I say, say asem courts na only judge no cry nya adwene me gidi say eno nso ma wo nyina ho nka say la nipa na nya yere
I don't know one kind. Me them kind without boating so kind. Why no?
I don't events
what they answer when because it is what
why should I even answer? Kasa chichi. I don't even
names. She spoke in general.
It's a customer so no. Kasa chichi. I don't know what I'm saying about. So hold on, Sasha. If you can, Sasha, but you bet me I am to a camera. Now me say future was so bad so. Because mentesa woka me na menzo menka bibia sa wa hase
okay na me
kasa chichi ni ade bebe say ya tisi that me tisi sa kwan ne so sabe bi mi ampe sabe bi mu yampani fo chen yen ba pani ne so be kasa chichi a yes ye betimi dia fa woka it mo yan so thank you very much
me hu ne say if I na na ba me say I try to be a billion
yeah I adwen but on say obi e kire na adwen regardless of who the person is na sabe kasa chichi na school no bi akona na say be say say the papa
for be shaking se munu bi
tobo say obi so ti kwa ne so a
menyo kese na watamfo nyina anya ketua na menyo kese na watamfo nyina anya ketua se boaten
e ma sa ma wo abusa na question busa so abere na ye nto after me tie
future onim platform ya me basui me maso se sabi me beka se atwitwi obi ena so obi nso baso no so beka se atwitwi me apart from platform yi so hefa na me ni pakro ye kosia salt ase me ka sem say any kwan say lawyers bi ba ye kra ye mole di e bekika so nim say won ka bi na wo so beka say atwitwimi a junior apart from say ye ba hey ye ni ba
me asa me mo odin o so kasa wa modin and afi do ka o ka lawyers na ka
de o ka de on me intimatimi ayu ano
o chere me na
ye nchia be
me ka oh dabi enya me no nti de wo
so say be twitwimi no enya den kra
because just me agroi ya wo metu mu nti de be ntwa so dem kwa why
ye ntwa so
Esther want to say Esther me la say Esther na nsem bebre kan ba na me ye enema bone kakra se wi ase nipa oha no agi break no akwa enema bone kakra no ada kakra na so ahwehwe waba bom kakra na waba na chese wadwe na fresh na me da na me ye no wi ase de enema bone de enema bebre ne ho na ene ensem bi na atwetwe maso kakra anopa na ese metunton sa ase ne dan ntim hyeremo abusuafo amanya advert kakra mamo amia oh Esther asase de open
no ben pa be ramu time a wuhwim ne time be ya ma wan sa kasa
ma men kama sem fast ansa na nkofo ya beje mai
ana o bisa wo privilege wa na e di ne ehwe wo
kasa ma Esther ho na
asase na wa somewhere o ba ya o beje mai ke kasa ka mi tu
men pa asase ne bi we
alepa me wa asase wo me obi wo achimota alepa wo bi o ma 7 adepa enye litigation asase a say litigation free adepa
apartment complex na eno ebe say
adepa no adepa say akra asase a litigation free as say Assembly any who wants a land tight to be other than when the other part means it. And yet, it's for bad.
Say.
Oh, at the back, I mean, Cassa, what you want to make canning.
Oh, as a pan, I can only
more corner, more corner, more shop who ye made a more canon, say. More shop who ye and a man, yet, so yeah, Yadi Juma Muano, a big I baby, intimacy, more common shop who ye.
Certificate what a man.
Obi kasa platform usia. Untumin kancho ni bagu say ye come ne fe no aba. E disrespect. Because if you would buy no quay.
Big way, patch me. Big way, my had that patch me, big way.
Thank you, Midas.
Big way, patch me.
Midas.
Big way, patch me, big way. Big way, kasa, big way. Kasa, big way.
Big
way, so on the over, so now, but so kasa straight to.
Aya education inti and mpese bitie bi ne tu nkrofofo
right and the balance a crew way
Adipe ni ayenimu no me since I was 76 years the next 20 years na me tia asasisua onyame ehira me no ama nkwa
me this also when you say 70 say
me 76
hey sis
yeah
wow
and abam party me ya osano
Adipe
abempa
Adipe ye wukwa ni enimu no na atwam right what's all trade dan what's all
oh big way fatcha
big way do me boy no
Mr. David
if you on the go be
and the bamba so ni na mpesa me kan say Germany ha se wone wire da mpaso na owu kura to nchen a we need the first suspect what suspect until say what be autopsy no clear uno we need the first suspect but so minimum wife akohwe mami bi not yen soroda na obnese okwaju ogobefa no ko non ye house owner na yedni kwani kitanza no wi mi wife kitanza no wi no frame na me da form do frame say ohini bra no say mami na wu na me kwani say eku ahye na tare because odni koto na tefiso nem say hye na tare ne fa no koto no hye na tare ne koto mpaso ansa ne ring ambulance ambulance be do pe no ring police na police buy right no ring doctors na doctors be confirm say wewu ansa no odni kwai okoye yi na we declare say yes wewu no kwai mbacho tie se obi wia ubetuma ko report na meti ne temba platform no say meti say na obi wa America o say within 72 hours esa report den mbacho anya no kware wo Germany ha na say be about 2 weeks ago boy bia ko to zoom owi what report no police agency or a missing person.
Right.
Now, until say we be huno, na doctor declare say ayo no.
Oh no.
Onwuye. Right? In this ukunu wu. Na say uko report to German embassy. Say we are. O say na America say nem tie papa no. O report we are. We be say okay yate. Dem we hear confirmation from medical report. I actually say we wu. But what you say? And na Morika na what can say official no yes say one
medical report okay
je we medical report dey cause say wewu answer na German hakura no say onipaku wi a owu wie na so report doctors ma report say wewu be je dey come out Bestaton Institute Bestaton as a buried one we see ngofuni no right One never go to register certificate Dankasa dear bro. One face show one sa. When we got command for go see no. Nan Crofuna confirm on a right? So Grofundi one what never call Ghana. One SAJ so the Munu Ghana and son of one issue and the amount. The answer of the one who goes a micro we are no one issue no man at the amount. Right? Until says that process in the dinner because we know. Want to inch famous who could have difficult. But anything I'm better make clear what you are saying, who said, who send a German process in it. But
in Germany, no, it should be within 3 working days, which excludes the weekends. That is, if by Saturday or Sunday, but still, even on that, there's still authorities working within that time.
And yes, where we were hospital, right? Where we were hospital.
Okay.
Nemo Shenamika say abroad to Zoom. First to Ghana for 3. Na mere minimum Zoom. About it taking 3 months.
I don't know, Matthias. They have to investigate it. And a doctor has to be on the scene to pronounce.
But okay, so hospital. Oh, hospital there, yes. One gets a chronic protocol now. We're very potential for
Big Auntie Rebecca said it depends on the type of
death we know. But just Odbaku grow hospital.
On the circumstance, no, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hospital. And you can't have a case woo. What Becko, I'm a process now against woo, did out. And said a whole crowd was like as woo. What Becca's name should back woo. And what do I one hadn't over say.
That's why you don't report. That's why you don't know. Ube unipe wa ube 3 months. What is on to me report so unipe. I just say one say okay. Ube be 3 months. It depends on the circumstances.
But minimum baby or ton soon what does of her. Or ton soon will quay in Holland Kwanzo baby. Now who unipa or ye. And until what taking the fingerprint. And what they call flashback. And who say or ye gun ni. Or fellow Fusiapia. And was sending in request in what they call Ghana embassy. In the consular, no, minimum consular, in the consular ringing beside say, what so be a how friend say, them so minimum papa, right? In the make a papa, and ye call, and so go call not a friend crowd was say, Nipper crowd went to my head. No one yan particular because our friend, said before we 18, or ye be what they got to, what they got to from money. You know, the house wouldn't call with taking particulars in the particulars in whom and what you call very fine for German embassy. And the consular no ringing me catching so ray, what should be a word so far. Your friend is saying, and I'm so, oh, yes, meaning papa, do whom papa near the queen, what the work on require. The on to say, medical, back, with back on the wound, to make us well. But Tommy does it. I don't
know. I think say Yabeti Asiane Naya agree say it will be under the circumstance the person passed away. And Yabeka say it will be like under which hour should it be reported. And you know, as we are talking about, we're all learning, and I think we all agree with that. So that one we should be putting it on the side. Yeah.
Okay.
But Tommy does it.
Dr. Ray, that's it. I mean, sure.
And the Tommy does it, Papa.
You pronounce me now, this why, Doctor.
Ada pa na mpeza mi asa small.
Big Ray, where you kwa katawa different dada.
Gabi, mi pesa kami bisa Ray.
Dr. Ray, say madam for say cook ya bo so o question ma pa.
Bajo.
Mr. Ray.
Yes sir.
O say nipa na nsu fa no. Ana mo de call Ghana embassy no mo kubusa na se.
Bajo de nipa no make a joke. It taken 3 months. And then a criminal you who say, Udipakuno what the prison war dos of Hada. Now Udipako again ni ding. And what they call Ghana embassy say Udipakuno because look at a Ghana passport. What they call embassy say Udipako be up to soon how we got some from waiting 19 years. Where if you into what they say embassy in Nimana. Inti consular na onim se me wodo so because we say no consulars needy. Work embassy. But the embassy nyane a consular station inti consular no bi se origin bi se. Onu se mte do so fa. Onu ba ko so wodo so fa. Wo bi se but your minimum be our friend say ana. And some because you minimum papa. Or to Rhine mu. Nso wo friend Rhine. No to me kwai. E headed towards Holland. In the Holland how kwan so we no ko. But me das.
Na Mr. Ray, nipa na oto nsuo ni mu no, no the prison. That means no address o krom ha o.
Madam, but you won't hear some papa. I saw me can won't ye.
There be me say,
Oton suma oyi bajoti oton sum. And no quay. But when we say now what the prison da. Tie.
I na me say obi a what the prison da o krom ha there. It means the person may have an address here.
Of course, but
yeah.
Not address, no. But tie. Na ote heim. But I not heim.
Okay.
Ote heim, right?
Okay.
Heim near I say home for busters. And I say when I move from a young 15 then I don't know. Was I've no 80 years. And on a right? In the honor want to be who exactly baby of it.
Mr. Ray, asema okay no. Say akra no 18 years and on the that is akra no others were better krom ha check and no address. And Sunny didn't call high. It's like ebia me wobawa ha. Me ne me ba netie. Me ba na ya soden. Ya befa no ya didn't call high. And I say children's home bibisa. It means akola no ye hwehwa akola na ye behu say oh ni papa ni say krufi ti ha no. Say krufi ya ne bani ana ne ba ne akrabo ni ntina ya befa no
wo be na mudi no
say come you dini say me establishing me establish
every man establish but my ko ye
asema Mr. Ray Kano at the back
yeah mesra wo me pa so ensu afo bi ensu afa ne de nya no na ye stress that was
asema Mr. Ray Kano say akwala no your family wa ha na say akwala no address wa ha kwa dia enko Ghana embassy ene ye de akoren na ekira kwan Ghana embassy eni ayibia situ dia wo sa kesi mu ene ye de akoren akwala no sana me pese me establishing ye be kwa papa ni fie ana ni family fie direct ani akobo mama ni say abofra no wa free mu yakohunu wa ha
yo
na Ghana embassy de den ekwe yo
yo
at the panam besa me some quick clarification on birth certificate.
Yeah.
That means any people who hospital in this case Lumba or the bank hospital. The moment I be hospital no, o doctors no be fail my dey pen NFL if any medical certificate of cause of death. Intend within was so time ye na doctors na fail niema omo gidi se ekun no. No ma fail ni na kama na doctor na sign or train dey no assign go so. Intend two parts. Into one part no relative no but any relative be out by a bit guys and a ba na ire. Near to one part near Jinipa code details a good book in. And this certificate said, man soon be anyone, obeying this certificate for birth and death registry. No more issue no proper death certificates. Or we are not their core assembly or no how could burial permit. That's the process. But in this case, Lumba, I think the family requested for an autopsy. And as part of the death certificate, no so much autopsy results no. From the pathologist, pathology never conduct autopsy. No, we're trying to report. Sometimes it can take a few weeks, especially say you made biopsies being there. It takes some time to cancer away. But so we are not be any man and able to make a few days. It is accurate to say Odo Broni call embassy always something likely so when you medical certificate of cause of death. The doctors in the pen extra man. and or the call initially, but then and the formal certificate no the here probably a copy of the death certificate. I don't know Ghana birth and death registry. Ghana among no issues are documents no. It's like a clarification I'm person making.
Rich D, Nyamisha. In 2 class, don't be here the official death certificate. No.
Initially.
Yeah, so initially first we need the medical certificate of cause of death.
Yeah, no, I know. Because I reported death now my embassy now.
Yes.
Which
one? No, death certificate. One of the things I remember birth and death registry. In any pathology reports, maybe another call birth and death registry. Don't want prepare death certificates now.
Okay. You do the death certificate, the official one, no?
Yes, any official. And no birth and death registry.
Why you need that?
Masa mbajo mbisa zemba ko mbajo tie se wo de obi ko hospital no ne ko shono pa ku wia mbajo hina na woman ta report no hina na wotu this report and as information about the deaf person no hina na the man because me can say me I can post ni bi we right me call question ko ko no wo se je me ni odipa kuna odne be share ho no ba ansana won't to me am information about that right now I mean papa one last born no a police inspector we are what they call motion right what can tell me and I'm Ghana what tell me call is me call what's the game of on back on the kosher on the back that's what they call in the hina is go to man that information
okay and usually obi aba hospital I GBB fed the body data and one of the things maybe I feel a nurse of kin the other baba hospital and most of the time at least in Ghana a family members it could be a brother a sister a daughter a son and a father and a mother in Jani Pakron and Dean was doctors and nurses hospital name so on every Pakrono it is the moment I nipa ne be no so nipa ko na ye na anim se especially se nipa ko abeda ho ache kakra na a ne din wa document ye biodata ya capture na biodata na onu ye be issue sa course of medical certificate of course of death na man what you say no akoye process na ko wa ko ma ne busu opinion so the mema hwan no e yo mo wasem usually doctors will just look at that around that area ona
the bacho say Lumba yare obefa ni fie no Odo Broni no di na echi na ordinary coin ordinary ko share ho hina no what is letters na nema na the word be man
yare be mo Odo Broni
okay thank you me that
because ono na enim se o hwe ni pakro ono na ya waka chente be Lumba o ba ho no ye ntwema so se o ye yire we ne bia fa obi aho ni pakro de ne ba ye no ono atro se bia I'm the wife and I'm the daughter and I'm the son whatever and ni pakro so na de bia ehu so oba ne nchen ka se onko investigations bia kotwa MRI ni pakro de ne ko tedru bra on ko taba kwesi on e abana I don't know. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, also a guardian in that instance. You are the guardian. All right, thank you very much.
Maza bajo mi dasi, right? Nami pesa mi labriti na nkofu bebriti asi. Ndine mbisa mi dasi.
Which they say no, ma who say we are public to say be medical. I'm contact why me so. Because what can say I'm not to makomaso.
Yo,
Asembe na waka to wakomaso.
Oh, that document here the man. Okay, document here the man. Won't mean you for share aside using it to process or to acquire the original certificates, which are used for official purposes. But yet, also still be mostly 2 days. No, the Broni did sad and go bar here. Thank you very much.
But
no. They're not about a rich deal now. Why a simple amount?
But
that's Odo Broni we need their certificate.
But rich D.
Odo Broni so need their certificate.
Yeah, rich D never anka kwesi bosompe dia wo ye ni say so.
Then. But he said then.
Say I mo na mo ko ba man e na say hey kwesi bosompe.
Mo na ko ba man e say.
Yo, the bobo.
That's Alex Baba. You have mana kasa and we some say no the infantship regime.
You na less ba oba. La muntia na less say Odo Broni akwaje akwa embassy hona. Yes or na.
Say and no back course examination be our year wa ha no. My filiasi.
Yeah, no, I don't
But
know.
the no asreo.
Lumba.
But I am
Lumba.
person who
Oh
has you know.
God, God have mercy. No buyer to say they don't issue anything apart from death certificates. Who's now so I make it any as some of what
That you more has you know. Why am puso.
oh God have mercy. Hmm.
But I feel the
Yes.
high din kasa I feel I'm for Michael Mabempa na. On kasa.
Na
Mummy
Enuba.
kasa deɛ.
Ah kasa niya.
Me nua bɛmpa yɛ yi paa o de mo nkasa wie.
Mr. B Kasa, Mr. B Kasa.
There be two guys, Mr. Bempa no I'm so ready. Two guys kasa that's all kebi.
Why two guys Kasa.
Na de pa ti sɛn.
Na me adomo.
Oh, adepa me kasa mo ntimenka.
O de
Oh, okay.
anto ka on
Oh,
kasa.
facha me. Adepa na me say pese me ma chronology of events kakra na de ka kai ho. Baby a if ya ba ya bedru ha adepa na ebi nso anopa audio na boy no ama me ra ho papa onim se na me hu ma me na osu no na me pe na
Oh.
bonensa ma me ra ho adepa na ma me ra ho ne se sebe mano si isumina so adepa okronfo mpo yere na esu ni sei na Charles amansan kwadwo Maa Akosu Serwaa eton fufuo ajai kwadwo fosu ho wa mesu kwadwo fosu san betena ha asai nipa mmere sai nipa adaje Ghana adwen Ghana mmere aboso abepre efunu yire efunu a wa mehwe no adepa hwe Maa Akosu a onyame enka na koma na debu ho so na Bible say
Bempa ifuno yere say. Oh.
Sorry me efunu ni menka no boni matwasan etore bi ha na Bible say ono Awurade otimi yima wakoma ye den se na bi ode begu wanim ase ma bonfu ebi na Awurade de ye Pharaoh no Bible say ono Awurade o ma Pharaoh akoma ye den se na be ya ode betua Pharaoh ka no amana hu so enyame ade pa tere wa na me se Maa Akosu Serwaa kwa sa kwan ne bi na nyame de ne nam so no because o share processes on mu o share advices a etu no for boatin mo yesu nua mo adepa advice basa adepa mama chronology adepa enema bebre akokoso hankofo we aka adepa ankosi baby first one omo kan omo say mama say wa ne mother de Lumba paper mama no de nkrata na be fa no eko wi echi na adepa budi omanka ho asem bio sa adepa entro ko adepa entro achese Maa Akosu Serwaa ne nkrata no dade Lumba kwa nim nkrata kro achese saa enye Maa Serwaa na de ne nkrata ahwe hwe ma dade Lumba adepa ebio kofu wesi Odo Broni no adepa ya ware no na Mr. Nice ye obeka wa hai na akai ya ware no adepa ye drew court adepa ye fair witness ye nyina afi de ampa abeto dwa se Odo Broni ya ware no afa mo se da bi we ntiase adepa ya sa Maa Akosu Serwaa nkasa no muton se Odo Broni ya ware no adepa o kan Maa Akosu Serwaa 2018 letter na adepa or see you have gone to marry as a woman adepa se Maa Akosu Serwaa jetum say she has gone to marry her. Who are you men kan de bone so we when o say no hwan say Maa Akosu Serwaa the commander general of the team Legal Wives Army the brigadier general the flight lieutenant Akosu Serwaa fosu
Adepa ya churu ni nyina ego aya churu to.
flight lieutenant, the commander general herself, the Fufu commander, ASF Fufu leader. Adepa, who are you? Say Maa Akosu Serwaa kase you have gone to marry. You have gone to marry. Adepa, now what be jina ha se Odo Broni yan ware no. Adepa, aya na treba me dream kofo bi ho a aya na menti ase adepa na nde na me kan ma me akosu se wa letter no 2018 letter no adepa na something very interesting or say I deserve adepa ti ma me akosu se wa or say I deserve half of all your earthly possessions adepa ma me akosu se wa na kasa no or say I deserve a half of all your earthly possessions adepa here is what I'm saying with this they be a me kase me say Satamana mami akusa se we trust a letter we will say I deserve a half of all your earthly possessions. And yet our earthly possessions.
Where fan I can free.
Mami akusa se letter no 2018 no. Me kan chwana. Adebe home. Or say I deserve a half of all your earthly possessions. Or mami kan ba sa letter we no. Ohwema me mission sha kwesi ni.
Na people say that sentence no. Let's elaborate it. What does it mean? So yeah, you're
Adepa enye enokra na many problem kra mama akusa sawa. Adepa enye our earthly possessions your earthly possessions. Na adepa ni eme isriwom ne say saa time na mama akusa sawa trust akrata bi. Na Ghana so worry obi na we den kra adepa ne possessions no half ya odia. Na half e odia. Unya se obeye hwe enu nti na utie ni tone na ode kasa na or say she's entitled adepa or say she's entitled to all your earthly possessions tio se me ama ware what say me ne ukura to say aware na nkuya to say 2 days kura aware no to say mama kuja say I'm entitled to all 50% of all your earthly possessions
Papa na wona na nya adwen ho nana
adepa me mame makasa ni ni biamfama no ba ne me kan kwesi ni sarepa enne mama Akosu se wantimi ntworo sa de we emfa nkokot emre no ene mmara no asesa enu nti na me ka se ebre bi beba obesa tworo se o certificate o ni certificate se den yo ana obi mpo betworo se I me o certificate
ba se ne bi oso so oni that Lumba na ye oni ni
ko ena me ka se enema no utie mama Akosu se what tone of that letter na adepa of course otimi can be to say joint property but adepa utie donation now they kana yo that means that
me ba enti sa letter no mo no bibia ni ho awanka awa bia wo
throughout the letter was week during the time of the marriage and no one can join but nya kan nyina ye yo
at least waka we akwa
oh adepa many problem crash send your kind you up akwaja
it could be say bia they have omodia omoyebo mo na osawo ebia osanim se that
Lumba
ono that Lumba kwa so de ojitu santi ne to ka say o deserve that Lumba so me say bia omomienu nkwa de na bia fa ebia no so sa what you say fine se that Lumba be ye bia aye ono nkwa de so o say deserve as a wife no that Lumba nkwa so de na wo ye no deserve as a wife
adepa me de sama ka say me enye ejapade no ne hia me omo say nantwie dua anka ne nsem konfo ade kon be ka be di nsem na he nantwie na sa wo ye odi ne dua no no aka wagya hoko na konfo ode kom enji no ejapade no se ma me pani na akra apart from Miss Legondan no opa on fani aka nyina any problem but the na me interest adepa eyemi oh adepa is Legondan ne de ene de on to na dream o nyada mama Akosu se wa opa onkoma ma epomeda santimem adepa is Legondan oye kwa adepa hwe na me de manu se adepa hwe ade bi ma me de adepa na enche me article na beba me ye ho adwuma day and night adepa me say a time is coming and the time is yet so close adepa ukuta ordinance certificate by court no be catch by your conduct adepa this statement is always very controversial. I understand say some of the Odo Broni fans they disagree with me, which is okay, But senior na make us Maa Akosu Aserwaa at the time of choice letter win or say I am entitled to 50% of all your earthly possessions. Sa time no na no kre. Sa time na or choice letter no na no kre. Enti ka sa time no kokota nko benya 50% of all the earthly possessions. But ende okokota onya 50% of all the earthly possessions. I stand to be corrected. Maybe now that the man has passed, the terms will be different. But the pandemic can say a time is coming, and the time is so close at the part. By the contract of a people in an ordinance marriage, in a monogamous ordinance marriage, by their conduct, it can be converted into a polygamous marriage by the court. At the part, obibu say, na kwa we na ze ema bonfu. To boy say, you're open-minded. Court ni betimi aka say mumienu na you were under a monogamous marriage, but because say mumienu by your conduct it is proved that you two have converted your marriage into a polygamous marriage. At the part, this is not impossible. Because say oh na edena court at the part unim say in my research I find out at the part by how no say at the part Senkofo minu a contract ma by law they've signed a contract. By their conduct, their contract can be deemed invalid or ma cancel no. Hwe yemfa ne say mene enoba ware. Na mene enoba ware no. Enoba memintimi enwo. Na makache enoba se enoba free Ghana na ko America. Na kope young girl bi. Na onene wo na me pretend say we me brother na me tena mo nchen ti me tena mo nchen na still na me say ya ware but me tete mo nchen ti say menia na young girl no ne young girl no me na wo na enoba betena me nchen adepa and whatever the example is adepa. If at the later stage, my argument is that if at the later stage me pull up my ordinance certificate say Enoba was my wife, and so the lady now me call no should or the guy na Enoba call whatever example is, am I confused? Whatever the example, whether male or female, whoever we were with, the person is not legally married. Adepa, that is an example that the court will say no. Because of your conduct, because you knew that you are in an ordinance marriage with a person, but you connived and you guys stayed together, pretended that you were in a like pretend there's any now or you're rightfully legally married woman. Woman, it's now whole share and participated in deceiving another woman to believe that that person who was your ordinance wife was your sister. Adepa, in this case, me say Adepa, the court will pronounce a new pattern that will change because Adepa nkofo bebre afa ordinance ho ebu nkofo kofa afa ordinance ho omaye no say ordinance no just say a Holy Spirit omunya twi pipe. It means that everything must change. But Adepa, that is not how it is.
That is not how it is. In this say be a future case.
Adepa, me say Odo Broni case we me say Maa Akosu Aserwaa, if Maa Akosu Aserwaa had brought out her marriage certificate, the arguments would have been different. I don't know what to say. Adepa, she couldn't bring her marriage certificate, so the arguments they didn't even get to argue some things out. I don't know what to make answer.
Bempa.
Yes, my love.
Mr. Bempa, I
Yes,
have a
my
question for you. I have a question for you.
Of course.
So, as per what you've just said, that in 2008, Maa Akosu Aserwaa wrote a letter to her husband, stating that he's married with someone else, that he's has children with her. So who will now go and turn around and say that Maa Akosu Aserwaa connived with her husband to deceive Odo Broni? Because that's the example you're trying to make.
Yes, that's a good one, right? And I like this kind of conversation. So this is how the court will prove. Basically, Odo Broni has to prove that Maa Akosu Aserwaa knew that she was with the man,
and prove to the court. Listen.
No,
So now Odo Broni has to go to the court and say that, my lord, this is proof that this woman knew that I was with a man and actively either participated or decided to stay silent, right? Decided to stay silent for me to be with the man for this number of years and prove to the court that it was beneficial to Maa Akosu Serwaa and the deceased. Prove that Odo Broni has to prove, say, she being with the man was beneficial to Maa Akosu Serwaa. She has to prove that.
But she cannot prove that. So you're now
yes.
again.
So
This is your trade, Mr. Mempa. This is your trademark. You say something, and you say something out of the blue, and then when Obitia, they're just like, oh, say ABC. But what you're saying is not possible. It's not true, and it's quite frankly false. First of all, that's not going to happen because this is a marriage that has been. That they got married by ordinance in 2004, and they've been married. And on all accounts, the woman went to court to say that her husband left. Let's say, when was it? 2030. I can't remember the actual years. He left for Ghana. He was living his life. She later found out that he was living with another woman. There's no evidence whatsoever to show that she connived with her husband for him to be with Odo Broni. That is one of the drink no. You're just that is not true. It will never happen.
Hold on.
That will never happen.
It is possible, say.
It's not possible at all.
You listen.
I am listening.
No, I'm saying, say, it is possible, say, we can go to court, right?
Not at all.
And OB may not be able to prove, right? May not be able to prove, say, oh, Maa Akosu Serwaa connived, or she may not be able to prove her participation. But me, if I'm a lawyer for OB, I think that this proving that Maa Akosu Serwaa was an active participant in case she's even able to bring an ordinance marriage is so easy.
It's not easy, Mr. Bempa. You're saying it's simple here. A man decided that he wanted another woman. He committed adultery and bigamy, according to Odo Broni and their statement saying that he got married to her in 2010. That is bigamy. Okay. If anything, it's Maa Akosu Serwaa that can prove that she will be fighting to say that Odo Broni knew that she was still married because there's no divorce. Okay, and there's other actions that I've heard. I mean, I don't know the details, but if anything, it's Maa Akosu Serwaa that can prove that actually Odo Broni actively participated in bigamy. What you're saying, there's no proof because you have a woman. No, you have a woman here who was left in Germany with her children. Her husband went to Ghana, lived a new life. That is adultery and bigamy. How can you not say that the woman was aware of it when in 2018 she came?
Bigamy.
What's it?
Between the two, who first caused bigamy?
Who did what? Sorry, Sasha, I didn't hear you.
He got married to your mom, and who was she married to?
She wasn't married. She wasn't married to somebody when they did the civil.
I'm coming.
She wasn't married to somebody. Okay.
I'm coming.
Sasha, let's not go back to that. Because that one, if you want to go into no, I didn't.
So I have to make sure I said in the right sense. That's what.
Listen, but the thing is, if you're just open the floodgate, for people to now look into Ghana and Krata area. You know that's what you're doing, and I'm not going to be stopped into that. No, that's what it was. It is.
That's been a talking here for ages. So I don't know what you're talking about, but we've been talking about it. Yeah, we have.
That's your answer. I just wanted to hear Bempa
out. Let us know that she doesn't.
Mama, you know what? Okay, Bempan is why an article. Why whatever? I know why an investigation, why an research, and all can answer. So, whatever question, you said let me be a question. I was coming in back and forth. So, if you have questions, you can ask. It won't be a question now. What me to know answer.
The way I fear didn't come to see no.
And yeah, they are on the sea or near my war dream.
I know, yeah.
Those are not, real stuff. That's not the reality right now.
My point was, I find the way Mr. Bempa Oya Akosan is quite dangerous because Obibe okay, this is the real thing and this is the next move.
I'm not. Yeah, no crowd. So will be an
So
analysis.
Obiana, but me, I find it.
At the end of the day, no, you may be panyon or Kojina Koto.
There you, but me, major man is Mr. Bempa Casa, so no, my baba challenging. That's
No,
my personal assignment. Yes.
if did you ever believe that a time is coming that a marriage a property will not be 50-50? Did you ever think about it?
No, but there's times where there isn't. Me, I think that law is ridiculous, and it's only Ghana where that thing will happen because it becomes very tricky because many women, even in Europe, many women are homemakers. Okay, and they still have a contribution. They still contribute to the household. They still contribute to assets being gained in different ways. So it's a very slippery slope to say that a woman has to prove mainly financially. But even that's because I don't live in Ghana and my properties are not in Ghana,
Okay.
so that's not my I'm not
Okay.
I don't know ins and out. But what I know is that it's not as straightforward as say, okay, you can't claim the property. Actually,
No,
from what I've
I
heard
get
from
you.
lawyers is that they will still recognize spousal contribution in terms of if you're at home and if you contributed in a way that a spouse contributes to, to a husband being able to work and actually gain those assets. You can, you still get your share. So in your straightforward say, okay, one to man five receipt and so one to cement. That's what
No,
it's
in
not.
fact,
It's not as
I
black
wasn't
and
even
white
going
like that.
into I wasn't even going to the detail. All I was
Okay,
trying to say
yeah.
is that the time has come when people said that law must change. It must change. It must change. And people said, no, this law cannot change. How would you prove? How would you prove that your share? How would you prove this? Like it sounded so difficult. That how are you going to prove it? Today the courts have found a way to make sure that people prove their contribution before everything. And it's the same way I'm telling you that if people are taking advantage of people because of ordinance. If you imagine that I'm in Ghana,
Can you
I'm
explain
married.
that? Can you explain
Yes.
the taking advantage
Okay.
of people?
Say you and your husband are in America, right? Now you realize that your husband cannot impregnate you. Okay. You and your husband agree that because you want to come to Ghana, you have seen a guy called Mr. Bempa. So now you want to come and be with Mr. Bempa as a husband, right? Now you move from America and come to me pretending you're a single person. You come and stay with me for over 10 years. We have like 5 children.
Yeah.
Or even like 7 children. Your husband comes here to visit as a brother. Comes to visit us as a brother. And then 15 years later, your husband pulls up when you're no more. That, hey, that woman that you were with, I was in an ordinance marriage with her. Meanwhile, you have come to me. You've taken away my livelihood. You've taken away my joy. You've deceived me. Not just you deceiving me. You deceived me with the active participation of your so-called husband.
Yeah. Okay, but that's one situation. But this is one. The thing, that's one situation. But Daddy Lumba's case is not that. That's not the situation because, for starters, there are public records. As much as people are pulling public records where he obviously referred to Odo Broni as his wife or his sweetheart or his partner, wherever it is, he did the same for Maa Akosu Serwaa. Okay, so there's no evidence. There's no evidence to show that he said to, I don't know, Mr. Asawatiko, but if you can hear me, there was no evidence there or that he said to Oninu Majai, even as far as recent as 2024, he still referred to her as Maa Akosu Serwaa as his wife. So again, Bempa, the case that you're saying,
If I can ask you a question.
yes, of course.
Yeah, based on what you said, I will say that Lumba ejina PSA so declare Maa Akosu Serwaa as the wife, right? And at the same time, there are some few 1 or 2 video or audio say was also akase Odo Broni susu yene, right?
Yeah.
So don't you think that based on these 2 declarations by that Lumba, the assertion here is that the man knows that he married both women, customary but not civil.
Yeah.
Can't you deduce that from it?
I absolutely can. But the issue here is, okay, we know that people will do what they want to do. Daddy Lumba was a grown man, okay? And he obviously had the means to do whatever he wanted to do. That is fine. But at the end of the day, when you go into a contract with somebody, if you go into an ordinance marriage with somebody and you want to marry someone else, the steps you need to take. If you don't take those steps, okay, even in traditional sense, traditional marriage, if you pursue a wife before friend, there's steps you need to take to be able to do that. If you don't do that, your first wife doesn't have to accept the other woman. Okay, and with this one, there's legal boundaries. If you are married, I'm answering your question. If you're married to somebody by ordinance and you want to marry somebody else, for it to be recognizable, you need to divorce, you need to dissolve your marriage before you can. Okay, so in terms of emotionally, etc., we can say yes, okay, he made it clear he had 2 women, he loved them, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the law is the law, and the first wife, she has the upper hand. Okay, because clearly from what she's saying, this other woman came about without her knowledge. At the end of the day, she accepted it some way, or she was quiet, one country, but she's now decided that's not what she wants to do, and that's her choice, and the law supports her with that. However any of us feels about it, that's fine, we can feel some way about it, but the law is the law. It got divorced. Maa Akosu and said, "Sir, I still want to be married to you traditionally. I'm going to find another wife." And that's fine. Then if she accepts that, that's the thing. But one divorce, that's as it stands. There's no divorce. So
my question, you are answering it in a different way. May say, based on the declaration of that Lumba, say way.
Yeah.
Don't you think, say, on my partner dream, no, he thought, say, he married both of them through the customary way, not civil way. That's what I'm saying.
I said yes, but what I'm trying to say is that we have facts. We have on the nipem no komari or will be ordinance, and he knows. He knows.
No, I'm saying, say, the man knows, say, only civil marriage. Don't you think, say, it is possible he knew, say, only civil marriage? That's why he went ahead to do what he did.
No, because I can't, because I've seen the evidence of the civil marriage. So
evidence like
I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures. I can't pretend that I haven't seen it and I don't know.
Video from where? Is it a court or maybe your personal?
Yeah, there's videos of the ceremony. In Kuala, you can see Charlene in the background.
Where?
Yeah, go on Google. If you go on Google, you'll find it.
Where was it presented in court and accepted in court?
It wasn't about presenting or accepted in court. I don't know how that.
Anything can be manipulated on the internet.
It's not manipulated. It's not manipulated video. It's not a manipulated video.
I'm just saying.
It's that video that Akonobia was saying it was AI.
Yes, so people are saying the video is not real. So why would you base on the video
how can you use
rather
AI
than
video
the intention of the man?
AI is good, but it's not that good.
It's not real. And also, someone say real. And also, you want to take that away from her?
That's the thing. And so maybe
why do you also I'm just asking her. Why is she also trying to take away that Lumba's intention, say, on a civil marriage, but because of a video, she thinks, say,
it's not just because of the video. It's the video evidence is there. The pictures are there. The pictures were presented in court. The certificate was presented in court. Okay, the certificate
it was not accepted in court. So we cannot base on that.
On technicality, the fact that it was not authenticated. Well, it's going to the High Court. So at the end of the day, I say we don't have a civil marriage. I know that there's a civil marriage. I know that there is a civil marriage. Okay, so because you're Obiaka, but the thing is, we haven't seen any pictures or any videos of Odo Broni's customary marriage. Yeah? And even if people want to keep it, there's many people more weddings, they want to keep it private from social media, etc. But they have pictures, and there's no way that Lumba will marry.
I don't have customary marriage.
Can you please? Can you guys hold on a little bit?
Let her submit whatever she wants to submit. How do you people not understand how the man lived his life the way he wanted it to be?
I don't have videos.
And you just have a
with
problem
my first wife.
Sasha, I'm
not
so sorry.
Sasha, when you go there, they take your phones, not because there is anything, but because they don't want you to even know that these people were here. They take your phones, they take everything camera away.
Yes, and I just said,
if you hold on, you want to speak a little bit.
been to events like
Lumba was
that.
standing here,
can you
he
also
still
speak a
wouldn't
little bit?
understand the men.
Ben,
So what the hell?
Ben, there was a recent funeral with this designer.
Why,
They
Mr.
said
Mamika
no
Asem
pictures and videos allowed, and nobody took a video. And by social
Nana
media,
Kwesi, Mamika Asem
But
Kitwe.
man, to the maybe you
Shasha,
guys are responding to
Shasha,
me. You guys are
Shasha.
responding to me without listening.
Yeah,
I said,
listen, can I say a little bit?
let me repeat what I said because
I said, okay, you said, I know what's
Debbie, Manu see you because you guys keep jumping on me. Man, to the Mikayan, me say, Miankasa, I've been to weddings where they have asked, for no pictures.
What was the argument? The argument was Bempa and I can ask them like
yes,
whatever.
And so Otikoye and Chrissy, yeah, Obisame question about the fact that it isn't possible. So that Lumba because Waka like Bujim said like he one married this one is his wife, this one is his wife, so he's married both of them. And I was trying to explain, sir, that is fine, but actually because of the customary the ordinance marriage. That is not that he went into contact in the customary ordinance marriage and he knew that there's limitations, boundaries on Timi Arabium. And then we were just talking about but honestly the customary ordinance marriage doesn't exist. And I said that it does because my who pictures, etc. And then Miss Anka said actually the one that who share about we've seen pictures and videos of one marriage will be actually AI, but we haven't actually seen any pictures of the marriage that everybody seems to be accepting. And so there's the conversation around taking pictures about at marriage ceremonies and privacy. And then as I make everyone is jumping on me. So I've actually been at ceremonies reason they didn't want the guests to take pictures. They wanted everything to be private, but they have their pictures. Okay, there is not one event where even if your phone gets taken and etc., the actual two people are more worrying. They will take pictures. There's nothing that anybody can tell me that two people
so we are asking her that.
Picture.
So, a man for photographer, does it take the reason someone worry?
The man lived his life the way he wanted.
Shasha, do you know the man we're talking about? That Lumba Momu Chase full movie. Moving the bar.
I know what you're talking
He said he's not looking good in the movie.
The man lived.
But the movie is there.
He wanted things to be private. He lived his private life, accepted and moved on.
Shasha, so listen, according to Daddy Lumba and on one the time I only Odo Broni worry and he was not even in a good health condition, meaning say he was not even looking his best. So it could be say this man due to how his health condition.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, if you are, let me ask you this: you people organize a demonstration at the in England, right, in the UK, the British High Commission in the UK.
Sorry, who's you people?
The Team Legal Wives, on behalf of Maa Akosu Serwaa, they petitioned the British High Commissioner in the UK that they should help Maa Akosu Serwaa find her justice. So I'm asking you, as we are all rational adults, as an adult that reason very well, a German citizen who lives in Germany is being maltreated in a foreign land. Do you think, in your wise senses, that it would be the best thing to do is to go to the British High Commissioner in UK rather than the German High Commissioner in Germany?
Okay, let me explain something to you. Okay, first of all, I'm not sure why you're posing that question to me because I'm pretty sure I don't have Team Legal Life written on my forehead. The fact that
then please don't answer my question. I withdraw my question.
Okay.
I withdraw my question. It's okay.
That's fine as well.
I withdraw my question. But Bempa, Mami Busa question way. Bempa, we are Ghanaian.
Ben, so Mami Busa fear just two questions.
Mami Busa Bempa me question. I need an answer to my question. Bempa.
Ben, my bapo Musa the question.
Okay,
Sister Fia me pacho.
Yes.
What read you read it?
Maybe actually read it. Yeah, I've read it.
Okay.
I've read it, yeah.
Do you agree with me, sir, the burden of proof is on the which is Maa Akosu Serwaa to prove her case, but she couldn't prove it?
I don't agree with that fully, no. Because there's technicalities.
But the bottom line, what was the outcome of the court case?
Well, the outcome of the court case, again, it's the marriage certificate. Well, even when people say it wasn't accepted, I don't entirely agree with that because it was accepted to the point where it was reviewed. It was accepted as evidence. It was reviewed, and then the outcome was that, well, she can't accepted or used that to accept the marriage because of missing signatures, because there's a different name on it. And those are all for someone who is obviously not in Ghana, who has a foreign marriage certificate, who is somewhat familiar with the German system. Those things are questionable for me. And that's why I'm glad to see that in being raised in the appeal. Because actually what the appeal is raised is right.
Sister
Okay,
Afia,
so yes.
My question is very simple.
Yeah.
What was the bottom line of the court case? What was the outcome? Just a simple question, please.
The bottom line is that the two wives, that the ordinance marriage could not be verified, and that's why the judge accepted both wives in the traditional marriage. That was in a nutshell.
Thank you for your answer. So you've proven my point to say the petitioner, which is Maa Akosu Serwaa, took her case to court, but she couldn't prove it. Well, whether it's under technicality or whatever the case may be, she could not prove it. That was the bottom line.
But what about
let me say this to you before you answer. Maa Akosu Serwaa's certificate was never admitted as evidence.
Can I respond? Bafo asked me a question. Can I? He concluded. Yes. So I just want to say something. But okay. So what I'm trying to point out is that obviously we're just doing this leisurely and just in our free time, and we're not part of the court procedures, etc. But the court, if I remember correctly, I think it's 136 pages. Okay, you can't summarize that in a sentence. Okay, and like you said, in simple terms, the ordinance. Everyone is aware that the ordinance marriage was not fully verified, okay, and that's why there's the appeal court, and that's why they've gone to appeal, and they've raised quite a few points. I don't know how many. I think it's about I can't remember, but it's upwards of 10. Okay, as to actually what they don't agree with in the original judgment. That is 136 pages, and you can't just. Because this is just a layman conversation that we're talking about, in our free time. I'm saying yes. In summary, the ordinance marriage, it wasn't verified, okay? But 136 pages, you cannot summarize it in that sentence. There's a lot of reasons, and actually there's quite a few errors or misunderstanding or how we want to put it from the judge. That's why it's going to the appeal court. At the moment, as it stands,
you saying if you saying there was quite some few errors on whose part?
I would say errors on the part of Maa Akosu Serwaa's counsel, 100%. As someone who's arguing from that, but the council has been changed and they're going back. So which I'm hoping with a better effort, and that's the beauty of judgments and courts. There's appeal courts, and you can go and take your case and let it be reviewed by 3 judges.
So that's a power for your response. Thank you very much.
But for Maa Akosu Serwaa's marriage certificate was never admitted as evidence. It was only presented as exhibit. In legal terms, you exhibit after cross-examination. If it passes through the sieve, then it becomes evidence.
I agree with you.
The judge did not reject Maa Akosu Serwaa's marriage certificate. The lawyers from the opposing counsel pointed holes into it, so it was deemed unacceptable. And yet, judge in the case counsels from the other side they put holes into it. So there was nothing like misjudgment from the judge. The judge only became a referee. I said the nowadays strikers they not defenders say allocuum. Untimi go can't referee say for the defenders no more than strikers you be only being free. It doesn't work like that.
No, because I said if something happens, now the referee has to make a decision. I can decide I misjudged it.
If you are saying she misjudged, then why do you come back and say there were 100% errors on your lawyer's side?
I never. Who said there was 100% errors?
You said I said then now
there were errors.
But no, you said 100%. The other people on your lose myself and we can ask somebody else.
I don't even talk like that.
But for one and only this uncommon.
Yeah,
you agree, say okay. I said there were errors 100%.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay,
so we're gonna
platform.
So we move on.
At the platform, I'll ask somebody. Say, I'll move on.
Ben, me pacho.
Ben, what's the one?
What's the one?
It's how long
but
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
The fear kind say, me pacho. They made some mistakes on their part. Let's keep it like that, Ben.
Yeah, that's what I said. And yeah.
That is how I
but for real mistakes, then why do you go blame the judge?
Ben. The council can make mistakes. You know,
council makes mistakes. Judge is or correct council.
No. Me as someone reading the judgment. Okay, let's say for example, one of the mistakes or one of the things I didn't agree with is the responses of the Mami Georgina, the person who was there on behalf of Maa Akosu. There's a lot of things that she could not answer in nuance and details. And so clearly there was something wrong there with the coaching or the fact that she was chosen to come and represent Maa Akosu. As someone looking out from that, I can see that as an error, something that should have been dealt with better. Okay, so what's wrong with me saying
so let me ask you, so do you think the judge should have coached her properly?
Sorry?
Do you think the judge should have coached Mami Georgina now
what's the
properly?
Judge? You mean the council?
No, the judge. I mean my words, the judge.
I don't understand what you mean by that because
I'm saying, do you think the judge? The judge. I mean my words. The judge.
No.
I
know the point I'm coming at.
No, Ben.
My question was that, do you think the judge was supposed to coach Mami Georgina so that she could speak correctly during cross-examination?
No.
Why do you come back and say there was misjudgment? If you know that the person who came to testify was not even coached properly to come and testify on behalf of the complainant?
Okay, so let me explain why I said that. I said that because I felt with such a high-profile case, and if as a judge looking at extract, knowing that, okay, you haven't, let's say what she said herself about the marriage, not having any knowledge about the German marriage certificate, and she's going to use her knowledge of a Ghanaian marriage certificate to review a German document. When I know that the German, the Dutch, the English marriage certificate are wildly different from the Ghanaian one, that is not going to work. And actually, according to what we know, the council for Maa Akosu was told that, don't worry, I know what to do about these things are different. I know what to do about it. And
but the claim you're making right now, what's your source for the claim you just made that the council was told not to worry, that she know what to do about it? What's your source?
The council's interview himself.
So you mean that the judge that was an independent body between the two, the complainant and the defendant, but lawyer Kusi, who was paid by the complainant to go defend him at court, saying that the judge said this is true. Meanwhile, during the first initial case that was taken to court, Maa Akosu Serwaa asked for injunction over that Lumba's funeral. During case management stages, they were told that if you submit the documents like this, it will be rejected, which is in the first judgment a free court by when she asked for the injunction on over the funeral. So why then do you come back and say, so the same judge or Kachere will say, if you submit this document thoroughly like this, it will be rejected? Kachere Kusi say she knows what to do with it, and you believe the story, whilst the judgment is clearly states in it that I told you people to transmit the document through this and that because the opposing counsel has really concerned based on the authenticity of the document you are submitting to court. Then you come back and say Okache lawyer Kusi say unim de obey intino na mamena a misjudge case no, while she clearly raised how the document was submitted to court. Okay, make me understand it.
Yeah, so you've asked several questions. So first of all, I was giving you you've you conflated different things now. So it's even a struggle to even know which one to start with. But let me go back to why I felt that there was some misunderstanding. First of all, there was a mathematical mistake in the judgment. So in terms of trying to work out what year Daddy Lumba moved to Ghana, okay?
No, so you're deviating from my question. My question is not about... Wait.
Yes.
Wait. I'm very patient when I want to be patient. Sometimes I just close my eyes and do what I do on here. Let's be honest and be realistic. Our basing it on our question and answers. I'm asking, you said, say, during that catcher lawyer Akosu say oh lawyer Akosu men worry na dey we dey minim dey meya fa ho best of issue whilst during the announce so catcher lawyer Akosu was state to judgment in time catcher lawyer Akosu 1 month ago say lawyer Akosu sebio say wo ba court them and now the document we beto atrasa Odo Broni lawyer for say document no munji document nintum say be paper no omuji efri honum na eba enti na be ya nkafa kofa embassy ye wa hane hana yenji asem nintum munyina mo ya we say what judgment ni ma eye legal fact that court sia kwa unsa be ka obekan ya be hu wo mu no adenti na wo sa be gina han maka chere say during the beginning no ka chere Kusi say lawyer Kusi man worry na me ankasa me ko find solution to document no.
Okay.
I want you to explain that. I want you to explain that statement.
No. Let me finish.
The source and why do you think we should accept it into
can
facts?
I say something? The reason why I was trying to, because you're conflating. Let me finish talking. Otherwise you'll never understand me. You're conflating the different things I said. So when I said, sir, there was some misjudgments or miscalculations with what the judge said, you have decided what part. So what decided said because.
Oh no, listen.
No, so you're asking
what I'm
leading
talking about right now. If
questions.
you're that's my question. Everybody is calm and waiting for you to talk. My question is say, who misjudgment no? Who misjudgment no? Who born same ni biya esi wo court na we ninja ho, which is like we see say adada no. Based on what
No,
wait. Because let me explain your statement to you again. Your statement was that lawyer Kusi said Judge Dorinda told him that he shouldn't worry, that she will find her way around the document. And she didn't, meaning so wadada lawyer Kusi. That's the basic sense you made out here.
Let me finish. I said so because Ben asked me a question. I said so because Ben asked me a question.
And if you are so listen, if you say yes, so of course you ma point A, explain point A. I'm say Abia point A. He went to school. The reason why he went to school, this time people say. The reason reason AI and I say AI and say asama wo class is here.
What be sana question?
We are having a very interactive conversation.
No, because
the question has been cleared several times. On answer question, I don't do what you do. This question has been clear enough. So
but Ben, my point
because
is
answer question. That question.
Ben, I understand your question.
Allow somebody to talk as well.
Allow us to have the conversation. Yeah, okay.
No, and it's not about allow whatever. You know, but I said you in your other platform. It's not run like that. What is our question now? It's no, you don't. This is a conversation. You need a kind of say a soldiers camp or whatever. You have patience, please. We saw the question. No, what post? No answer. I said the answer. Form of attack. I mean, impressed. I don't know.
Okay, so do you know my point, and I'm a partner to Ben is he asked, since I'm making say I felt like there's a few things the judge misunderstood or she misjudged in her judgment. You've asked me about 3 different things, and what you're doing, Ben, is drawing conclusion and saying I'm saying that this is what she misjudged on, this is what because you asked me about when I brought up about Mami Georgina, okay, and then you asked about the certificate. You've asked me 3 different things. At this point, it sounds like you're asking leading questions when actually, when I said that the judge misunderstood some of the part or she misjudged some of the things in her judgment, I hear wrong because when I say something, you jump on it and say, "Oh, okay, answer this," but because you don't let me finish talking. Okay, so yes.
I want to correct you on something, right? And let me say that I enjoy team legal wise people like you who are able to have like some of
these. Please, can I say something? Every time anybody talks, it's like, oh, team. Is that the only team? Is that the only team? Is it? Why can people not just?
I apologize. No, I apologize if you are not. If you are not. I apologize if you are not. I just thought you were team legal. No, but anyway.
I am somebody. I'm an individual who looked at this case. I'm the biggest Daddy Lumba fan. I heard this case and I find that actually I support Maa Akosu Serwaa's stand for whatever reason, from following all the information. It doesn't mean that I'm from one team or the other. That's just my stance. I can support Maa
Okay,
Akosu Serwaa and just being,
but
yeah, because
if
I think you
you
guys, you listen to, you people go to Team Legal Wives platform more than anyone who has a similar stance to me, because you know a lot. I mean, most of the things you talk about that they say, I don't even know. But anyways, Benpa, I'm
okay,
listening.
I was just gonna say that you made a statement that
Yeah.
the judge presumed that the yes, and I just wanted to correct you that in fact it is by law. The law forces her to presume. So she is not presuming at the disadvantage of anybody. In fact, she could have presumed to Maa Akosu Serwaa's advantage. You understand? So it just happens that her presumption favored Odo Broni, not at
Yeah.
her own discretion that, oh, let me just deliberately presume so that it favors one side. In fact, when you look at the Evidence Act, the Evidence Act says that if you do not, it says that foreign law is a question of fact. In the sense that when you're coming to prove like a foreign law, you have to prove it with fact that in America, this is how a marriage works. If you do this and this, it makes the marriage invalid. If you do it this, then this and this, it makes it valid. So you have to come to the court and prove these facts to the court. In a case that you don't prove the fact, the law says that the judge, whoever is presiding, must presume that that foreign law, it is the same as the law in Ghana. So let's just assume that in Maa Akosu Serwaa's case, even though she did not present an expert witness to come and testify by her German marriage certificate, and imagine that her certificate had 2 signatures, witnesses, it had everything. The judge would have presumed that Maa Akosu Serwaa's certificate that she had brought is the same as Ghana one, and ordered and declared the case for her. You understand? It just happens that when she used the presumption of the certificate being the same as Ghana, it just didn't tally. You understand? So I don't want you. So the presumption is by law. In fact, it's in the Evidence Act section 1, 2 or so that the judge must presume that a foreign law is the same as Ghana law. So that is what I just wanted to put across.
Mr. Mempa, I know that, I understand that. And actually, this case, as much as I have my own personal opinions, I know people are saying, so if this goes to the appeal court and it's overthrown, okay, there's nothing really that will call her lordship Dorinda, like her judgment into sort of, she's not going to get into trouble for it, because she went with the facts in front of her and she had the leeway to give a judgment as it is. And that's the reason why there is an appeal court with 3 judges that can review. And then, counsels, if you're appealing, you can raise your concerns, your grounds for appeal, and it goes there. Okay. This is just I didn't study law. Okay. But I know how to read. I have good reading comprehension. Okay. And this is my view. And from what I saw, the mistakes that Ben unfortunately didn't allow me to sort of raise in terms of the assumption in terms of when Daddy Lumba moved to Ghana, and how that, according to the judge, was impossible because the wife allegedly, Maa Akosu Serwaa, allegedly came to visit him. Okay, the fact that I found it quite bizarre that the judge concluded that the fact that she came to visit her husband in Ghana means that he had already relocated to Ghana. Instead of looking at, he's a star who was in between Ghana and Germany. So if he spends 3 months, my husband travels for work. So if he goes somewhere for work for a while and I go and visit him, it doesn't mean that he's relocated to that place. Okay, actually most times, if it's possible, if it fits into the schedule of the kids, he will want us to come and visit him when he's away from work. But doesn't mean he's relocated to the place. But for this one, what the Mama Kasami Ben, for this one, the conclusion was drawn that Daddy Lumba didn't move. He moved in 2010 and not 2013, because in 2012, Maa Akosu Serwaa visited him in Ghana. Okay, for me, that is a misjudgment of that whole scenario, because it is very much possible for somebody who lives between countries to be somewhere for a prolonged amount of time, and for kids and the wife to go and visit him. It was still classed as a visit because he was away for 3 months and they went to join. That is still a visit. So that's just an example. Even the kids' ages, there's literally a mathematical error there with the kids' teachers. And those are the things I wasn't allowed to raise when I said, there is some misjudgment or miscalculations or however, but at the end of the day, the judge has made her judgment, and for now it stands, and there's an appeal court. It's very simple. This exercise we're doing, everyone is saying everyone is interpreting things how they want, okay, and it's not a personal attack. That's my stance.
Efia,
Yes,
I
Ben.
put it to you that Lumba was in Germany until he moved to Ghana. Then let's put that aside. One say, if you present a case to court, and I say, put the evidence together, you don't treat one evidence as different and the other as different. She came and she made a statement that Lumba every Germany none Obano was say. And Ebusa say Obano was saying say. And yet say free say Rebecca say. And there no two as one fact which has already been established. And a second
Ben,
fact say,
Ben, can I say something? The number was wrong.
And the second fact they went to was that when did you ever visit her? She said yes. Visit him. She said yes. And you say, have you ever visited your husband in Ghana? You say, when your husband relocated or deserted his matrimonial home, did you ever visit him in Ghana? She said yes. And the said, okay, bring the date out. I don't know about date no be visiting. Say what? After your husband deserted because Oberman deserted matrimonial home, if you are where my bet name that becomes the matrimonial because you are not the one marrying. He is the one marrying you and bringing you to where he lives.
I don't agree. But go on.
Okay, so that's your opinion. Say me why you never go to Japan. The house I buy in Japan becomes a matrimonial because I buy or build a home and you come in to make it a home. Secondly, sign your mom anyway. One date. Two, kwalano, and 3 times or no visit Ghana. No. It was 2 times below the date or no the bar court. No. It was not just one, so it was 2 times.
You forgot one. Brempoma's testimony also was a good was because Brempoma said that she was coming to she came to visit them and she stayed with them and all of those ones also.
So it was not only one evidence that was used to make the conclusion that then Lumba didn't move this year. There were 2 different testimonies. One from the power of attorney, the one Georgina, one from Brempoma. Then they put in the data which as ni onwangasa ni spokesperson kaze visiting ni kunaba ni kundizeti marriage na. Then it clearly shows you say the date that they were presenting was wrong. And secondly, I never tried to stop you from raising the misjudgment you found. I was only questioning the misjudgment you bring out one at a time. One, you brought out Georgina. I questioned you on that. You brought out Lawyer Kusi's statement, and I'm trying to question you. My question was that Lawyer Kusi na kase during that catch and say onfa ombra no begia to musa no during that, which means during that deceiving no Lawyer Kusi na musu ogi to say case during case management no the catch on say they should submit their documents through the right path. About saying that this person says this and say this now because no can mom na yenokre. Abra judge has had one stand since the beginning of the case. That was my question and you failed to answer it. And question, one answer, then you went to talk about dates. And I'm telling you that my question is straightforward about Lawyer Kusi's claims or accusation on Dorinda. So can we please get an answer? Then we move to the next misjudgment you found. You didn't answer. And at the person I make kawash and then I make kawash and I make kawash.
Ben, can I say something?
Which wasn't so.
Ben, the point was that actually, Master Mekan, I didn't even finish, and that's the point that Adepa was making. I was trying to make. So, as the misjudge, I hadn't even spoken about them. I was presenting the case and saying the whole thing with the marriage certificate and the authentication. I hadn't even mentioned the actual misjudgment. For me, the actual misjudgment or the actual issue with that part is that for such a high-profile case, if the council is coming back and saying they're having difficulties with getting the the marriage certificate, or if you know that actually we need a witness, okay, this whole thing will stand. It will really require a German expert. Okay, they should have either been given more time, or the court could have supported, because I think the judge did recognize that actually it is a pretty hard task to subpoena someone, from a foreign nation. Okay, and I this is my personal take, and however, I mean, I'm not a judge or a
If
lawyer,
you are,
obviously. I would have
if you are, if you
no,
can
and
read.
I felt that actually it was in the interest of everyone in this case, clearly, because months later we're still going backwards and forwards with this. Okay, for the court to support, okay, with either subpoenaing someone to come and explain, okay, the documents that was brought that allegedly have been really hard to authenticate. Okay, or actually when they went back and said that the Ghana embassy in Germany doesn't know what to do with the documents. They don't know how to authenticate it. Okay, for that to be, you're laughing, but this is a high profile case that is still
Fia,
ongoing.
I don't want to come in when
Okay,
you're talking, but
but
there are
you
certain
have, but
things that
Ben,
you say.
but
There are
Ben,
certain
which
things
is
that you
fine.
say. We can't just keep quiet and let you go
Okay,
about it.
but Ben,
Fia,
Ben, let me
you're
finish.
trying to tell us
Ben,
because of Maa
let me
Akosu
finish.
Serwaa, as I mean,
Yeah.
the consulate or the representative of Ghana in Germany, a bunch of people that do not know what to do with their work. Lawyers and appointees are Germany, and they are working on behalf of Ghanaian government. No? They don't know how to accept a document, take the document to stand stamp and verify themselves, put a stamp and put that same document in an envelope and mail it to Ghana. What are you trying to tell us?
Ben, my point is...
Are you aware?
Ben,
Okay,
Ben, can I finish? No,
let
Ben,
me
let me
say something.
finish. No, let me finish, because you like the sound of your own voice. Please let me finish. My point is, you did not listen to me. You can have your response to my concerns. My point is that one mama concern me. I said half my sentence, and you jumped and you were asking questions.
Every time you make a clear point. But you make a clear point. So yeah, if we question the point,
even now, Ben,
you make a clear point. We question it.
But Ben, even now, Makasan, you
Okay,
jumped in.
If you're done, let's say I'm
in.
done before we come in. Okay, say I'm done now. We will come in after that.
Well, I'm not sure that will stop you. Okay, because you still haven't heard.
We want to know now. We want to know.
If you keep on arguing, then we are not going to leave this.
We want to know when you're done
today.
Okay, so clearly you guys are intolerant to what I have to say, but I didn't. That doesn't matter.
No, we are tolerant. We've been here for long, but when we allow you to speak.
Don't we talk and don't we answer each other and hear each other out before we answer?
So
Ben is not doing the same. And Onu bisa me question, but my point is that I then no bisa me question when I haven't finished my sentence, because he's asking me the question about the wrong thing. When he didn't, and then
if you guys should take a little break and let other people also come in so that you can go back.
Okay.
Yo, me that's it. If yeah, that's a good one. At least it's intellectual conversation.
Another question before that, I don't know if you wanted to say something.
Okay, Mr. Bempa, who we are?
O kwesi maybe ko adepa che na me call from now opportunity.
Me peke but then no. Na me said that me peke me now emba. I don't know.
Oh, me that's it. Kwesi ko.
Okay.
Let's go so ba say that me nim say let's so let's. Okay. Na person kept biana.
So, among customer ha.
Okay. Shasha.
Mama.
Okay. Now we'll be become.
Pretty much I will skip Efia's thing and then let's move on to the next, please.
Okay.
Wait,
so you want to talk? I think so. Yeah, and
I may share that
master.
Yeah, because every time they look like pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, be papa.
Okay, because I wanted to give
yeah, Auntie, I'll come in a minute.
Franco, question now come on.
Sister, if you are can person busa no question I say me send us again.
Okay.
Se metimi akode a me yi nyina ne se ye wo Ghana no se wo de documents bi ekoye application a se marriage certificate ene sa ne ma no wo de koye akọ ebia BTC Spain Germany ni ade na wo de wo ye bibia wo de beko Ghana foreign affairs amoma ye bibia nsana embassy na wo ha se no wo se bia Spain na Spanish embassy na se German embassy no o ma gia tu ansa na watimi de ayo application bi ama o ma ye de o makọ it then Maa Akosu Aserwaa wo ayi na we German citizen no e dey nesi no kwan say obetimi aye ne bibia no nso ama German foreign affairs for no agazeti bibia no de abagan na ka ya simple dan say o de ba German embassy because o de ba German embassy wo Ghana e hon ne ma adwen kakra no because wo German dia obe bibia na de akọ mo foreign affairs amuma ye bibia o honom ne se bi o mo be fa Ghana embassy no mo de aba no mo de aba sana hanso no ye bibia kwa ye Ghana foreign affairs any court Ghana court ye bibia na ye de akọ Spanish embassy no mo so e de akọ honom no ma ye bibia din ne bibia sa na mo ye no intimenti ase sa na ma wi no ma me ntimi nya no honom mfa ma still no opese obezi wo Ghana German embassy wo Ghana because also ye no honom se de ye de a ye no wo Ghana ne omo embassy o ha ne gitum no mo de akọ omo krom no sa na so nso ye no hanom no honom de ba nti honom me point no.
Yeah. So
no,
as far as the information in the verdict is, they said they tried and it was a hard task and they needed more time. That's what they have. I've seen reports and I don't know how true this is again because it's social media and we will wait for the official appeal. But the last thing I heard in whether it was 11th of July or just recently said they've actually brought an authenticated certificate and it's been accepted as new. I don't know how true that is, but when they do the appeal, they will know if finally they've managed somewhat authenticated in the German embassy, the Ghana embassy in Germany. I'm not finally authenticated. Then we will soon find out. But the last I heard about this whole thing is it felt a bit like it was a backwards and forwards. It's too much time, or the people weren't exactly clear what to do with the documents.
Mr. Frank, there were question here to clarify and question I will be signed because Nipa be brain 80. Mr. Frank, I'm your German embassy certificate now. Maa Akosu Aserwaa in initial stages. I send the bar for call German embassy printing certificate out to man. And wait, so was our German embassy be man.
The whole unit say umoji ade na Ghana embassy because before so obeji with German embassy wo Ghana I was say foreign affairs wo Germany any court of Germany omu nyina gazette ade no omu dia German embassy wo Ghana na omu dia ba court so to them it said the money me bin me pacho German trip money me bin say ade bia for example me the a certificate if Ghana ba bia me fancy Spain one maybe bia da ko Ghana foreign affairs amoma ye bibia ma ebe ko court na ma say translation so matemase wo Ghana ha nam dia ko embassy am embassy na hu say ampa we dey ya translating wo Ghana kasema na say bia English mu dia ko Spanish amoma ye bibia hu say ampa ansa no mo de stamp so no mo de ko Spain the same way now. Why say them person name different? Say be Ghana the and the same person you know.
Why repeat yourself without answering my question? No. I said my kind I don't know what can you around maybe some question. And you man catch the question.
What was say? Answer question
German business no that's it. But
that's not what I said. That's not what I asked. Oh, so when you would train here, me
that's the problem.
Baby, I would do explanation if you buy who say one team question. I sent to me patron. My miss a question with you because you and I was to me your door some for clarity. Me patron assembly see for front. Fresh now. A court fresh no. Maa Akosu Aserwaa call German embassy. Emma German embassy na a printed certificate na out man no.
If you hono or sign ko hobby man na.
Me pacho. No, yeah, about 2 different days. That means was alcohol him. Say a court just say I don't have 2 different.
No, Uncle
2 different
Hobian.
signatures. No, that means say was alcohol him.
Debbie, that wasn't true.
If yeah,
No,
they
that
went
wasn't
back
true.
to German embassy. I don't know Papa she for a document. We made now say
Yes.
or the letter every German embassy. Baby, say I'm part
Me
document
pacho
authentic.
No, that was the first one. That was the first one.
Me
I
I
got
can't
the
tell as I'm
first
war
one.
porter.
Did she
Papa
go
she
there
for letter be
again?
by say this
Okay.
is wakwaji letter testimony free
Yeah.
and your certificate of testimony free German
Yeah.
embassy. Or be the court that who be so court die hono. So yes, they went back
That's the
again.
first one. But Frank.
Document. And also
Clearly, you
documents.
see my documents from German embassy
Documents.
about.
Okay. But Frank.
Letter and stamp so. Document.
Me, those things, some more, you got what the Frank will quite once. I think you mentioned something about 2 signatures. You know the 2
It's not
signatures.
about 2 signatures. So you
No,
can't
I'm speaking
documents
to
that Papa
Frank.
she could buy.
I'm speaking to
Okay.
Frank.
Okay,
I'm
not
speaking to
me.
Frank. But Frank, he asked Obisa a question about the 2 Obi is video.
It's okay. Ivan, go brush.
Somebody needs to be muted. Frank, the 2 different signatures. Do you know why there's 2 different signatures? There's 2 different signatures because those signatures that are from, I don't know, but it's like the civil servants who are at the German civil offices. Okay, and because she went on 2 different dates, because one was a I'm trying to remember, one was a certified copy, one was the original, the German one, and one was a certified copy. Okay, and because they were done on 2 different dates, that's why, and there were 2 different people dealing it, because civil, we'll call the civil officer, you're not always going to deal with the same person. So whoever printed it off and dealt with it, that's why there's 2 different signatures of the civil servants. They're not signatures of any Ghanaian people or whatnot. They're the civil servants who handled the document and released the document. That's the issue, that because in the German and the English and the Dutch marriage certificate, there's no the married couple, they don't sign. And the whole thing about the signatures and because I didn't know, if you just use Google and if you translate the title, and the title is, one is a female, one is a male. That's why it looks slightly different. It's a German. If you don't, you think that you're bidding. Okay, because there's a different term for the female civil servant, there's a different term for the male civil servant. So the whole thing about the whole issue about the signature, that's what it is. It's the 2 different civil servants. One is a female, one is a male, and they're on different dates because
okay,
they were
wait. If so are you done now?
Hey Ben, I was talking to Frank. Frank, have you understood?
Yeah, you want to say something because obviously you can say you can't. So we asking you, are you done now before we talk?
Are you going back again?
Frank, what's your here? Okay. Frank, so busy because
Why? But now
Frank, Miss Basho say.
Doesn't matter. I've stayed there until you came back.
What's it? Yes. Yeah. Yes, of course.
Marriage certificate. One. Me court. Me sign. Me de be ko Ghana Foreign Affairs. We ansa na me de ko German embassy. Amoma e bibia ansa mo de akọ. It didn't think na Maa Akosu Serwaa. Ono so ye German citizen.
Yeah.
On ko honom, no on kwaje, no on fan ko German Foreign Affairs, on fan ko court. No fan ma Ghana embassy.
Also on fan ko for onjin free Germany. The be onjin free for onjin free yeah.
Se me Frank me.
The be de ka maame no mate wo stance say bo se maame no onjin free for no fan ko he.
I don't know no so engine
Find the right channel. The channel that
no fan the right channel. No nya
yeah.
say bo okwaje free Ghana German embassy wo Ghana no. I don't know the enye
one German free German embassy wo Ghana oje no or the because almost say oje free Germany because it's so oje be the corner one.
That also go to the
Frank document no and the first one was German embassy. But the she document no was from Germany. It's
never from Germany. It was from German embassy. He stated clearly says from German embassy. He stated clearly says from German embassy. Letter if you German embassy.
Let me answer your Frank, let me answer your question.
Twisting his own words.
Ben, I'm speaking to Frank. Thank you very much, Frank.
But I'm not talking to you either. I'm talking to Elliot. So
yeah,
you can tell me.
But Frank asked me a question. Can I not answer Frank's question?
I also made a statement. I was not talking to you either.
Oh wow.
The translation
yeah, so Frank, what I understand is that at the end of Germany, and the German embassy in Accra to verify it.
To Bona drive, why take care with your driving.
Hey, but there's a lot of interrupting when people are answering questions and asking questions. It's a bit unfair.
If you are Nyamimo Abutre.
If you are
Nyamimo Abutre, why are they? Would you change
hey, me, the way I had the other thing, to respond to Frank, and said, me, baby, I'm and a baby I woman in different countries, and why I got married is, and I've actually had to get an affidavit for my marriage certificate to change my name on my passport. That is from a different country, and I've had to deal with it myself. And it's sometimes a long process. It's tedious. You have to wait. And it can be a bit tedious process. I agree when people say the whole thing was rushed. Okay, and actually they should have asked for more time to be able to get the right authentication. Why they didn't do that, that is, only Lawyer Kusi will know that. Okay, but for me, my stance remains. It doesn't mean, there's no marriage or the certificate is fake. Okay, they were trying to do the thing in the quickest way possible that they wanted it. So what we need to do is wait. I mean, we can have this discussion. That's absolutely fine. But for you people to use their chest and say, oh, the whole thing was fake, and it's not true, because from my personal experience, I've had to get an affidavit from my marriage certificate to just even simply change my name on my passport. And I know that it's an annoying process when you live in a different country, you got married in a different country. It's not. It's not like, you'd think that it should be, it's 2025. Things are, just with a press of a button. But no, a lot of embassies and consulates are quite archaic with their systems, and they want you to do things by, a system that was still there like 50 years ago.
Okay.
Ben, I was talking to
Akwesi. I'm not talking to you, Mr. Why are you calling Akwesi now?
No, but I was talking to Akwesi.
But how you call Akwesi now? Because the only word I said was Akwesi.
But many Akwesi now, why are you coming in?
But
Ben?
Can't I talk to anybody on this platform? What are you trying to do?
Yeah,
many
but
do you have an issue with it? I only said Akwesi after you were done talking. What's the problem?
I have an issue with Ben because Ben is not showing me good manners, to be honest.
Why is this?
At the part, then am I Akwesi? Did I do anything?
I was submission. Why?
Akwesi, when I talk, you don't say yeah. So when you say something,
I did pass over here, Kasa.
Oh, I don't know. I remember what Mamuya and your fine.
Ben Yabutre, Yamimo Abutre. Thank you very much.
Guys, like I also tell me, I will come and down.
Man, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking. Meaning, Kasa, I mean, yes, she. Okasa, we are Akwesi. Akwesi, Jason Makasa, Akwesi, where we ain't bet Makasa. One country, and I'm not talking to you.
Ben Yabutre.
It means I was
as a man, I'm a kind or Kasa.
Ben, Mr.
Oh, woman, look at me, cause trouble. Me by me, or as a more kind, my Musani question, my nation, the mechanic Akwesi. And so much Manu Nesi Bonnie.
Ben, I didn't say I can bob. You made us say, Adipa, media may any short, as I'm near Kaka, but your submission and a mess I'm in my any short. Adipa, Ghana court, and Ghana as a country, we don't live on our island, so ye be as exclusive with Ghana. We also deal with international practices. And I said, sa authentication of foreign documents. Enya Ghana na yedi sa amra ni bae. It is an international practice. Abrofo na kreditum. Eno omukra no mufa ne serious chen yen kra na isusu se bio Ghana no sebio ye nim your left and right. Amount for be joins. Reason why omude sa de ni bae. Abrofo no kra nim say despite vigorous system no amount for any ways and means omutume present fake document edi chire edi ye niama take time and say omachi omo. That is why I day in day at abrochi omu make omu rules no omu system omu ye omu running omu system no so that they will be updated with modern trends. Adepa ye are going to be brave. Ye ntumi tina onka say abrochire nkrofo nya ade bone. People use fake documents even to work in hospitals, in banks, even in security places for a long time before they are apprehended. Until mayen mani look it say a wiase na ewo no e kro bi ye saint for na egu ho omu ye sura abofo no mugu wonti bone nkoso wo ho. And the fact that somebody will present something does not mean say adena nimpa ne de bae no say bio eye authentic and now say eye the right channel. Boni wo nimpa ho enti na yeye mra no. Yeye mra say ebe check nimpa abrabo eni yesu ni ye ban because yaye nim say ye nimpa ne yenji ye hu di say yeye asro abofo and now say ye hu kochen boni ne ye enti na ye gitum say ye nyemra. Enti say ya hihye mra bi say udi bibi free ekuro bi so say udi ade free Ghana akwa Germany you follow the same process. No German court or embassy will compromise the process for you because you are special. Enti ade na Ghana de say abrochi de na Ghana de the same process no ye kasa manfo this wa ye see ade. Why are we doing this to ourselves as a people? Is it because Ghana and Felice Ghana de ain't winning bibi papa be ada na said? Because as some way, in case you were Germany na kedi adeni free Ghana ako, and our court ni car say adena modifa edi free Ghana buy no. Mo fanfa the right and it mean to man can menye sure say you mu bebrebe yete ye ka say we would have uttered the word. It is just because it is coming from Ghana. Until now we are trying to justify and find ways and means and say yes, you be your baby. It is an international, your friend, is a process and procedure. And you Ghana na buy. And so if people are asked to follow the procedure and they refuse to do so, you don't blame a referee. Judge is like a referee in a football match. The referee is not there to tell you the player say bobo ni say tackle say and I say goalkeeper to who say or nini the ani say obehwe say there will not be foul play in the field of play. Say ukocho bi a say unfairly no obemo unfair advantage. That is the work of the judge. The judge is not there to lead evidence to one party say oh adena odiba no say oye ni senti mame momre wo na wo de ade ne ba na onim say you had difficulties in presenting the right thing. The lawyers have the right, or they could have asked for another, or your friend say an extra date or extra time. Say oh ade na ede ba no because we face difficulty A, B and C. My lord ye besrew ubetumi ama ye emre kakra to be able to present the facts. The judge would have granted them so. And come we na judge ni ka say there be, then we can have a debate say judge no anye fair to them. But omono they believe in themselves say whatever they were presenting no will be accepted in the court of law. Ebe make omo case no very very solid. And they assume say they did all they were supposed to do. That is why they did not ask for any extra say yeah more kwan no omunye bibi. And moreover no Your lawyer, yeah, funny. Or Benjamin Boncho says some simple cry. Or the money bad last month cry no can some no be really. So why are we now trying to turn around and blame a judge who was just a referee to a party, two people? Oh no, why some of can and no be jinaso, no odiebu asem. Ye pese ye di judge in mum, ebeshe asem ni fin so or no na when the ambuancrophobi. Meanwhile, nipa na okoso harmono. We are trying to ignore and take the person out of it. We are not being fair to the judge. We are not being fair to our Ghanaian system. Every system across the world, no. But we cannot say baby dear a yakrojen baby nyako. Abrochire. Ye misjudging for the BI the omkotu. Emma later if I know say asam nukran yendini ye. Emma omuji judgment na. So are we going to condemn the system there because one or two issues have happened unfairly? We don't condemn it. We can only say it should be done better. And eba Ghana and so on, we should please respect our system because they also adhere to international practices. And may money look at it say yes, it's you. Now, you find say we a student now we try exams. Now say we have more paper, more a sheet to write whatever you want to write. Now one can catch the examiner and he said, Miss Rewo, me pay more sheet. It is not in the bosom of the examiner to come and tell you so. Then I will so drop and trash it natural more. The examiner have no business doing that. So who feel it's like 2 hours through and never more pass here. And one say I can't stop work. I will present who do papers ni and we don't expect the judge to say, oh no, on country the other side, and I say lawyers and he said, oh, and I say there's a witness. Should the judge guide the witness on what to say? And if would the OB ever court about my witness statement, now want to mean and go through what the person was supposed to say. Now more man the right information to come and present to the court. No oba no beto papa soa. How do you blame a judge who is just there to give judgment based on the fact presented to him or her? We should take responsibility sometimes and not to shift blames to people. This is the problem some of us we are having. Sebio. Ye krono. Omunye perfect, but enye bibia na eche so omunye. And Mr. Subani said, as some year can say, for the right channel. Maa Akosu Serwaa Germany. It is the simplest thing you could have done. Just go to your and yes or Spain and also call to Germany. I can say it's too difficult to. You are in that same country, which give you easy access to wherever place that you need to go for these things to take place, and you are supposed to do it. And it's a 1 year. Na se muba se yeba ekufu fro so na yakosa embassy na akwaji sade na se judge ni bi ka so onje ntuma eye ni kwan so ano. And moreover Mr. Bempasu kan se judge ni presume a eye mra na ma no kwan se onye wanfa ne pe ene de ye nti se mra ne se onje na so no onye sade na sebio ekoma wa anka wonka se waye mfumso ankwa ma on die. You can say ankwa ma na ya, but you cannot say the judge have been biased because we use imbrano e dia kan se ma anko afa. Nti eden na esi ye nkwan se the right thing anka say ye ne simple na ye hu toye na anka semu nke so atwa no ye ntumi anye ene ya pity around the bush. Yes ye ba be ye per civil marriage. Yeah, the court. Even the lawyers who say a quack of file expert witness on custom marriage means sometimes I find it weird kakra. What is your business in that? Just come and prove say me dear nanakwesi. Then I make quack of be say oh so your friend John and to never check the difference between John and nanakwesi. If I'm able to prove with myself, Beth say your friend nanakwesi, what else? I don't need anybody to come and prove otherwise say oh you will be so a friend Nana Kojo and to better the difference between Nana Kojo and Nana Kosi. The difference is strong. And he said the lawyers I for mono or more justice to a case. We should put the blame on at their doorsteps. Ni enja Ghana court na asem ni enja the way I tarnish the image of our court system or even send the order enye kura na bibi ankoso. Sebio ye say asem no uye ni yanka wo mu na anka lawyer kusi edi asem ni yanka menye sure say by this time ke mo be sesa no because you don't change a winning team most at times. Enti mo no muji di say lawyer no mo asem no wendi ni yama mo na mo sesa no na emom no mo person mo did the blame to put the blame on the doorsteps of the lawyer but another person because maybe you feel like ono so be ba kasa say oh asem na mo de brem me no na enhye de emu nhye de nye druma me ntumi nya bibi nkan fa hunti yen de yenyi ni nsi nchen ema ye nya sa we should be fair to the cases baby ade ne dan fatu baby away Sudan fatu ne yin na ye de yembobo ne yen hwe se ade na ampa obi anye na adwuma yi na ye pese di na de betu Ghana AKOSU dia and we are not being fair yenja because nothing is perfect abruchina nka so munim say boni wo ho enti na omu hihye mra send the be ya nimpa enkonko to mra anase onfa kotu kwan so enko ya de boni ti ade pa de asa me de be si ana obi so abam na echina nyambo ye hia ye de ya kan yes okay nobody there be your question
I'm question way who tell me did say what to cry wo akwantu say Odu airport na security check ho na e ka say fa onioma fa x-ray mu na also fa metal detector mu a obetima bi won ranka kire airport for no say wo de ugidi say cocaine na drugs any wo bag mu na etu onhye ohuntu no mfem
na awuntumi nkasa apo
okay na say wo ye judge wo Ghana no be the document free Japan ba na Korea of the free Japan ba na US Land Commission stand esiswa obeji document na tumana
na US ni Korea de ede na
information here why
Enoba
okay me pacho me me abema me question is how can say yes won prove na you know I mean on fan kofa uncle authenticate now it's a simple thing to do near you okay now it doesn't have to take long and a lot of things anyways but maybe so in my case no the evidence no Ghana to Ghana. Say there's a process. Say there's a process. Even though you think it's simple, there's a process it has to go through. And Ghana to Ghana. Say yeah, 30 days. 30 days in the drew, and you're ready. Anna or no court na so 29th, because of insurance toil. And almost had a share on the first. It wasn't still ready. Ghana to Ghana. That's how I want to. Me know ya dream baby. I can't say lawyer Kusina was or more time. Me know ya dream over. But me know ya dream baby. And now can say like it's a simple thing to do because it's a process and it goes through a process and they cannot expedite one on the DNA because court will